In this edition of the Parliament Report, JDIP hits the road in March, massive budget cuts, big box for bushing, and forensic audit into JDIP begins in April. The Portia Simpson Miller administration's Jamaica Emergency Employment Program JDIP is set to hit the road in early March, providing some 5,000 short-term jobs for Jamaicans. After a number of hiccups in starting the employment vehicle, the government on February 21 announced that it has allocated $4.2 billion to start the JDIP. Minister of Transport, Works and Housing Dr. Omar Davies said the administration had made adjustments to projects under the US $400 million Jamaica Development Infrastructure Program JDIP. This means that US $50 million from the controversial program has been reallocated to partially fund the JDIP. Davies made the disclosure in Parliament on February 21. However, the parliamentary opposition has poured cold water on the startup of JDIP, claiming it was just JDIP renamed. Opposition spokesman on Transport and Works, Carl Semuda, said his party supported the objectives of the employment creation vehicle. The previous Jamaica Labour Party administration had criticized the JDIP as a crash program that would not benefit the country in the medium to long term. But Davies says JDIP will not just provide short-term jobs, but create employment over the medium term. The national budget has been axed by $21.6 billion. Tabling a second supplementary estimates of expenditure in Parliament on February 21, Finance and Planning Minister Dr. Peter Phillips signaled that capital projects would be cut by $12.5 billion. Phillips is also proposing to slash recurrent expenditure by $9.8 billion. The proposed new budget is $525.2 billion. The former Andrew Holness administration has reportedly spent US $20.8 million or $1.8 billion in local currency in less than 30 days to carry out bushing works in December. The sum was used from the Jamaica Development Infrastructure Program JDIP. Transport Works and Housing Minister Dr. Omar Davies says the $1.8 billion expenditure on bushing in a month should be noted. The Jamaica Labour Party administration had come out strongly against the current administration's JDIP, describing it as a crash program exercise similar to the one carried out by the Michael Manley government of the 1970s. Taking the opposition to task, Davies said, "It certainly raises questions about the sincerity of those who now seek to criticize labor-intensive activities on the JDIP." Special incentives are proposed for private sector firms which create additional employment for Jamaicans under what has been dubbed the Jamaica Emergency Employment Program JDIP Tax Incentive Scheme. The government says it will be providing opportunities for private sector companies to complement the administration's JDIP. The details of the incentive program will be worked out with stakeholders for implementation in the new fiscal year. The administration says it will also be targeting the medium, small and micro enterprise sector, which has the potential to generate a number of jobs. And finally, in the Parliament Report, the forensic audit into the US $400 million JDIP is scheduled to begin on April 2 and is set for completion by the end of June. The government is expected to sign the contract with the selected firm on March 29, after which the company begins the forensic audit in early April. And that's how we bring the curtains down on another edition of the Parliament Report. So glad you could log on. Until the next time, I'm Edmund Campbell saying, walk good.